Hey, what's your name?
Jose Garcia.
And what would you say is a passion of yours?
I love football, Texans, and food.
Alright, so I'm Jennifer Flores and I like rugby. So
Trash.
why would you say that football is better than rugby?
I mean, rugby's for big, dumb people, and football's for smart, big people.
Why would you say that?
Because there's more techniques and there's a lot more. It's a lot more complex.
Complex how so?
The plays.
Okay.
I don't know how many plays rugby has, but
See,
seems
rugby,
pretty simple to me.
Rugby is more like thinking on the spot. So it's like if you Google it, it sometimes comes up as organized chaos. So in a way, rugby could be considered smarter because you always have to think on your feet instead of just following a play that someone else gives to you.
Not really.
How so?
Organized chaos, I mean, it's mostly just chaos, not really organized.
But I mean, you still have a thing, like you have to look for holes. If someone gets tackled, you have
That's
to
the
run.
thing. That's the thing about football. Whenever you're say you're a running back and you're looking for an opening, on the offensive line, you have to either create that hole. It's also on impulse and reaction. You have to think for yourself. You're not you're not just following a play. You don't know if it's gonna work. You have to make it work.
Okay, what about for linemen?
For linemen, I mean, you never know what type of person you're gonna block. There's different ways that they're gonna try and get the quarterback, the main person you're trying to protect. So the offensive line, they have to use different techniques. They have to put their weight on them, or they have to follow them. If they're outside linebacker, they have to follow them around and try and shadow them. Mm-hmm. And then if they're defensive ends, they have to try and push them down as hard as they can. But if you're J.J. Watt, then it's kind of hard.
Alright, let's focus on tackling now. How would you say the tackling difference between rugby and football?
I think rugby tackling is a lot safer. I mean, because from what I've seen, it's they wrap around and then you just pull them down. Sometimes there's a couple crazy people that I've seen, but football, I think it's a lot more dangerous than rugby because of the pads. Because if you didn't have pads, you wouldn't be hitting as hard as you would in football.
Yeah, I have to agree with that because rugby is a lot based on technique of tackling. It's called cheek to cheek, so your face cheek next to your butt cheek. Not only that, yeah. So then, and the thing is with football, it is this false security because you have a helmet on, and with that, a lot of football players I've seen that they tackle with their head or they push with their head, they don't necessarily wrap. Yeah. And so that, because a lot of people, the helmet stops from fractures, but not necessarily from concussions, because the concussion is based off your brain, just kind of bumping against your skull and stuff like that. So that's why you see a higher rate of. That's why you see a higher rate of concussions in football than in rugby, even though you still have concussions in rugby. It's not as much as in football.
I agree. I mean, that's basically what I just said.
Okay. Okay. What about scrums?
Scrums. I have no idea what that is. I know it's dangerous because I've seen sports science, and it's it seems pretty dangerous. You have to have perfect form, perfect technique to be able to do it properly. If you don't, then I think what I've seen is that they can either break their neck or back. Both. Okay, both. That's even worse.
So a scrum is basically when there's a foul or something, the ref will call a scrum. So it's usually a knock-on or something like that. So it's when, in sevens, it's when three people line together and they crouch down and they bind. And they make a tunnel with their feet and the ball goes in. And then the hooker goes ahead and hooks the ball. In 15s rugby, you have 8 people in the scrum and they're all pushing and shoving. And that same thing. So you have your locks that bind onto your props, and then and so on.
I have no idea what that was, but all right, cool. That's awesome.
All right.
That's a line of scrimmage for us for football.
Okay, so what do you think about almost the timing of it? How you have different sets and plays. In rugby, is always a live ball. While football, if it touches the ground, it's kind of a dead ball. You can't do anything with it.
To be honest, I don't know, cause
what? What? In rugby, the ball falls on the floor, It's still a live ball. You can pick it up, you can run with it. You can
Okay, yeah, I was tripping.
Okay.
All right, no, well, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Like,
What do you think is better, the live ball or the dead ball once it hits the floor?
I think the dead ball
Why?
makes it a lot more interesting.
How so?
Because I mean, if it's a dead ball, then you're just like, okay, crap, I have to start over. Like, you only have 4 chances to get to your goal, either a first down or a touchdown. And I think it's just like if you like, it makes people work a lot harder to stop them, like to hold them within 4 downs.
But how does it make it more interesting?
I mean, you gotta play it to like, I guess, understand why it's more interesting.
I don't know, from my point of view, the live ball is more interesting because in football, for me, it seems like it stops a lot. And like, I'm not used to that as a rugby player because I'm like, okay, that's kind of boring, like you're stopping every time it touches the ground. But for us, like if it touches the ground, if it like falls behind you, so it's not a knock on, you can like kind of like drop on it, like go to the ground with it. You can, if no one's there, you can pick it up and keep on running, or you can set up for a ruck. So then like there's a lot of different opportunities with that. You can pick it up and kick it and stuff like that. And when you kick it, like it hits the ground, and then you can catch it and just keep on running and get a breakaway. So I mean, there's a lot more opportunities for that.
I mean, I guess.
That's how I see it more exciting. That's why I prefer the live ball over the dead ball.
I mean, I don't see how that's interesting. I just don't see how that's interesting. I mean, it's kind of like soccer, and soccer's for punks.
Okay.
I mean, you can't really deny that.
That's true. Okay, what about lineouts?
Lineouts, what's that?
Lineouts.
Lineouts, I don't know what that is.
The ball goes out of bounds.
Oh, okay, and then when they throw up that person?
Yeah, when they throw up that person.
I think that's pretty cool. That's fun to watch.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how that compares to anything in football.
Okay, personally, I don't know what happens when a ball gets out of bounds in football. So what happens then?
They just mark it out of bounds. Like that's where. I mean, if the player had it in his possession, then wherever the player went out with the ball, then he will. That's where they mark it down. So if they ran 5 yards on first down, it would be 2nd and 5. It would be 2nd and 5. And what was I saying?
Lineouts or like out of bounds.
Okay, out of bounds. Yeah. And then if it's like if the quarterback just threw the ball out of bounds, then say it's first and 10. If he threw it out of bounds, then it's not going to count. It's going to go back to 2nd and 10. So.
Okay. What do you think about the players individually, like the positions? Like, what do you think about that?
I think that football has like. I mean, I don't know much about rugby, like the positions, but what I've seen, there's just like. I think it's the speed guys, like that are usually in the back that like. They score most of the points, I guess. Like they just like run straight, try and juke a couple people, and like try and make a try. Is that what it's called? And then there's like a couple big guys that are just like big. Like I don't know. They just hit hard, try and knock the other big guys out. And then in football, it's like you have all types of body sizes, like body types. Like you have freaking massive people on the defensive line, offensive line, and you have the semi big people. So like they're like people with size and speed, linebackers, running backs. Then you have the skinny fast guys that are like tall, and they're the wide receivers and corners and safeties. Then you got the tall, skinny guy with a strong arm, and that's the quarterback. And that's pretty cool.
Okay, so let's say if a football player gains a lot of weight, could they have a new position? Or if they lose a lot of weight, could they have a new position?
Potentially, if they gain, say a safety, he gained 20 pounds of lean muscle, then he'll probably be able to play linebacker or cornerback.
But he would have to be trained to have that position.
Not always, because safeties and linebackers they pretty much play the same, like pretty much play the same way. But linebackers they have a lot more contact.
So it's a little bit similar to rugby, to where rugby players
This
thing is
awkward. People are staring.
I know. Basically, with rugby players, even if you lose like 20 pounds, you still have a pace. Even if you gain 20 pounds, you have another spot for you. You're right. The fast people, they're called the back line. So it's basically back.
Why can't it be brown line? Or white line.
So basically, the back line, like the position back. Okay. So basically, it's a back line. So those are the fast people. Those are the ones that mainly try and they score, basically. The forwards, those are the big people. Those are the ones with a lot of muscle. In 15s, they're mainly there to tackle a lot. But in 7s, once they get out of like their forward positions, like a scrum or a line out, they usually go into the back line, and then usually centers where they can run through people. And so they're basically the strength, so to carry the ball through people. Honestly, there's only a few positions in rugby where you get to where you have to be trained. So then, like if you're in a scrum, if you're a prop, a hooker, a flank, a lock, or like a front lifter, back lifter, jumper, those are basically the main positions you have to be trained for. And everything else, you just kind of get back into the line. So usually the wing, I mean, it's a simple concept, just try to get the ball to the other side. And the same thing for everything else. So basically, it's just a lot of diversity in that, to where anyone can play anything. And you only really have to be trained for certain positions if that's like what you have to be trained for. But like lock can play like a wing if they're fast enough and stuff like that.
Okay. I mean, that seems pretty cool to me. I mean, I like rugby, like to watch, and I respect the players since they like don't wear pads, and it seems like a tough game. But yeah, rugby still sucks.
All right.